All right, so you're probably wondering what we're doing here today, and we're going to be talking about being an introvert in business and how you can still be quite influential. And I love this title that Gwen's got here, Quietly Influential. So, if you're not sure who I am, my name's Cora Naylor. I'm an energy healer and I facilitate magical manifestation circles. And today I wanted to introduce you to my friend Gwen White, who is an amazing coach. She's also into human design and a whole bunch of other things. So we're getting caught up with her and learning how we can use our status as introverts to move us forward in business and life. So welcome, Gwen. So nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me today, Cora. It's a delight to be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you came up with what you're doing, like, specifically with introverts, because I know there's a lot of us out there, and sometimes it can be difficult to fit into the world.
Indeed. So my mom was taking some college level, some master's level courses, I think when I was around 10, 11 years old. And I remember at that time taking the MBTI, the first of many assessments that I took in my life. And I remember the results coming back saying that I was an introvert. I think that one was INTJ. And being really interested in, for the very first time, in knowing what that meant. And throughout my life, I love assessments. I have always been really interested in learning about myself. My college major was psychology. I want to know how people work, how I work. And so when it came time essentially to kind of hang my shingle as a coach, among the many things that came up were working with introverts, and it really resonated with me. I had sort of set my introversion aside. For many years, I worked in the world as a sales and business development representative and thought that I needed to operate in a different way than I felt that I was. And as a result, I found myself very exhausted at the end of every day, at the end of every week, at the end of every job project. It seemed like I was constantly just trying to keep up. And I finally reached a point of burnout and recognized through spending a lot of time learning about myself, doing a lot of inner work, finding human design, which changed my life, and then a number of other practices, recognizing, re engaging with my introverted self and recognizing there were a lot of people out in the world, the conversations that I was having with a lot of the people I was connecting with, essentially expressing a lot of the same things that I had gone through, and recognizing there was a real need to address here, that there were a lot of people who feel maybe not even, recognizing that they're introverted, but recognizing that they were the more quiet type,
Yeah.
and that they had been called into leadership through, whatever, path they were on in their career, and were having challenges, and recognizing that they were also feeling that need to kind of put on a mask, be someone that they were not authentically. And as a result, yeah, they were experiencing stress and overwhelm and imposter syndrome and so many other things that commonly are felt by a lot of introverted leaders out in the world.
Mhm. And when do you, how do you sort of define introvert? Because I know some people I think are a little bit confused about what is an
Absolutely.
extrovert?
Absolutely. That is, again, my definition is, and I want to be very clear, I have essentially kind of two things that I recognize as being, kind of defining introversion. But again, everyone, owns their introversion in a very different way. So for me, when I think of introvert, I think of someone who needs generally more time, and processes information more like differently. They tend to need time to process, time to absorb, time to integrate. And then they just need that solitude as well for energy. So, for
Mm.
energy resources, recharging the battery. So, it's a lot about processing of information and even emotions, processing energy as well. So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I
those
love
are
that
the
'cause
kind of the two
mm,
big buckets that I think of when I think of
yeah,
introversion. I don't
yeah.
think of shyness or social
Mhm.
anxiety. So a lot of people, yeah, equate those things to being introverted. But I know so many introverts, and the introverts I tend to work with, those leaders tend to be quite confident, and um, they may not necessarily dive into networking, but
Mm,
yeah, they don't have any issues necessarily in those areas of, you know, being shy,
yeah,
necessarily.
yeah. And then you touched on, human design. Maybe
Yeah.
some people aren't really familiar with that is. Maybe you can just give us a quick overview and how that changed. You said that was life-changing for you, so maybe give us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mentioned the MBTI. A lot of people are maybe familiar with that. They kind of know their Myers Briggs type. So, when I think of human design, I think of the Myers Briggs on steroids times a million. It is essentially a blueprint of your energetic self. You can get insights into your personality, but human design goes even deeper than that, and you get insights into the unconscious parts of yourself. And it's such a great tool personally for personal development, but also for professionals. It gives you such great self awareness, new levels of self awareness, and yeah, really understanding your strengths, maybe areas of challenge, that it can be such a great tool.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I know gone into mine a little bit, but it can be overwhelming, so just so you know, people who are out
And
there, it's still interesting. You definitely need someone to explain it to you and walk through all these, channels and everything that you have, but it's super interesting. I wish I had been around and I'd known about it about 40 years ago when I was, like, say, doing some of those tests and trying, hoping that one of them was gonna come up and say, "This is what you should do, Cora," you know?
precisely, yes, agreed. I think human design is such a wonderful tool at any point in your life, but yes, it can be especially beneficial to utilize when you're young because, yeah, having those insights. What's really nice about human design is it doesn't change. Your chart is your chart, your blueprint is your blueprint, and it really can give you such a North Star. Um, you know, Point of guidance for yourself and give you strategies for how to operate day to day and how to make aligned decisions. And that is wow. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't trade for
that's
that.
awesome. Yeah, and so with your work, do you work normally, more one-on-one with people? Do you have group programs? What's your preference or
Yeah. So up to now, I have worked entirely, exclusively one on one. So many of the programs that I have developed and um, coaching that I do is so highly tailored. But yes, it is definitely my goal to start offering some group programs, and that is certainly my direction as we move into 2025. So yeah, I'm
Awesome.
excited about that. In fact, and yeah, I'm also working on a book, and
Mm,
Yeah, and also, yeah, just yeah, putting some online trainings together so that people can access this work at at a time that's convenient for them and on platforms that they can access.
awesome. So if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way? Is there a website or that they
Yeah,
can?
my website is guinwhite.com. You can find me on YouTube. I have a podcast, Quietly Influential, and that's at Guin White on YouTube. And of course, yeah, you can find me on all the other platforms as well.
And I'm sure you'll post the links in the comments later so everyone can see them. That would be fantastic. And then just
Yeah.
before we go, I'd love to get a couple words from you. I know you were one of the members in one of my circles, and I'd love to get some feedback and let people know, what how that experience was for you.
Oh my gosh, Cora, your manifestation circle was such a gift and it came at such a perfect time. It was, I felt so divinely guided to it and all the way through it. I think for me, the cohort of amazing women that were there, that I found there, really expanded my journey through manifestation and really allowed that focus and that safe space to really lean into what it was that I wanted and what it was that I wanted to focus on. And as a result, yeah, I was a manifesting like magnet during
Mm,
that time. So I treasure that circle and I am eager to rejoin when the time is right
mm,
because it was incredible. The money that was coming in, the clients that were coming in, and also the opportunities that were presenting themselves over that 6 weeks that we were together. It was
mm.
magical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
I
Thank you.
can't say enough great things about it.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of that circle. And for anybody else, if you're wanting some more information about the circles, I'll definitely post a link for those in the comments as well. And if you have any questions for Gwen about what she offers, about human design, any of the things, reach out to her. She's a wealth of information. She knows so much more than she's been able to tell us about today. So thanks again for joining us today, Gwen. And we wish everybody a great day.
Thank you.